You've heard that buying the best picture means paying premium prices, but what if that's just a myth? Today, top 5 affordable TVs that beat expensive brands takes aim at a $1,500 illusion. Why are ordinary shoppers spending hundreds extra for TVs that struggle against models costing half as much? Here's the truth. 2024's budget TVs now deliver brightness, contrast, and next-gen gaming features once locked to $2,000 flagships. The real cost? Most buyers still pay for the logo, not the performance. One of these value sets even outshines Samsung's celebrated QN90C. So how do you spot a hidden champion and avoid the $500 mistake nearly everyone makes? Let's break open the numbers. Picture this. A family walks into a big box store, ready to drop $2,000 on a TV because the brand name practically shouts premium. The sales floor is a maze of banners. Samsung, Sony, LG, all promising the ultimate home theater. But here's the sticker shock. That price tag? It's not buying you twice the performance. It's buying you a logo, a little more metal in the stand, and a lot of marketing. In 2024, the average shopper overpays by $500 or more just for the comfort of a familiar badge, even when the specs are nearly identical. Or worse, when the cheaper set actually wins in side-by-side lab tests. The old rulebook said you needed a flagship to get real HDR. Back then, 1500 nits was the secret handshake for top-tier brightness. Enough punch to make fireworks leap off the screen, even in a sun-soaked living room. For years, only the priciest models could touch that line. Now, TCL and Hisense offer mini LED screens that hit 2000 nits and beyond. Amazon's own QLEDs, selling for under $500, can pump out more color and contrast than last decade's $3,000 giants. The playing field has changed, but the price tags haven't caught up. Retailers know most buyers don't walk in with a Lux meter or a spreadsheet of lab results. They bank on the idea that you'll trust the brand, not the numbers. That's the trap. You pay extra for features you'll never use. Or worse, you miss out on the ones that actually matter, like Dolby Vision, low input lag, or the kind of local dimming that turns a living room into a movie theater. Even today, plenty of $1,500 sets from big names skip Dolby Vision entirely, while $700 upstarts included as standard. The real pain? You could walk out with a TV that looks dim at noon, chokes on fast-paced games, and struggles to show true blacks in a dark room, all while an affordable rival on the next aisle is quietly outperforming it. That's not just a bad deal. That's hundreds of dollars gone, with nothing but a fancy logo and a thinner wallet to show for it. The smart move isn't about chasing the biggest brand, it's about knowing exactly which specs matter and which price tags are just a confidence trick. Forget the sticker price. If you want a TV that actually blows you away, you need a checklist that cuts through the marketing fog. Start with brightness. Not the fake numbers on the box, but real-world peak HDR measured in nits. Aim for at least 1000 nits if you want scenes to look alive in daylight. Mini LED sets like the TCL QM8 and Hisense UO8K routinely hit 2000 nits or more in lab tests. That's not just bright. It's the difference between washed-out fireworks and a living room light show that makes your neighbors jealous. But brightness alone doesn't make a picture pop. Local dimming is the unsung hero. Think of dimming zones as blackout curtains for your TV. The more zones, the tighter the control over deep blacks and starfield highlights. Mini LEDs now pack thousands of zones. TCL QM8 tops 2000, Hisense U8K isn't far behind, so you get punchy contrast that used to be OLED territory. On the flip side, bargain sets like the Amazon Omni QLED limp along with under 100 zones, which means you'll spot halos around subtitles or glowing blobs where dark meets light. If you want true black, OLED is still king. LG's B4 delivers pixel-level shutoff, so black scenes are inky and bloom-free. But remember, OLEDs can't match the eye-searing brightness of top mini LEDs, especially in sunlit rooms. Gamers, don't get played by specs that sound impressive but lag in the real world. HDMI 2.1 is your ticket to 4K at 120 Hz or even 150 Hz, so motion stays smooth and input lag stays under 10 milliseconds. That's the difference between landing the headshot or blaming the TV for your loss. Budget sets like the TCL Q7 and Hisense U8K now deliver these features without breaking the bank. Skip anything that maxes out at 60 Hz unless you're allergic to smooth gameplay. Next, check your HDR formats. Dolby Vision and HDR10 are the gold standard. Missing either is like buying a sports car with no turbo. Oddly, some $1,500 Samsung flagships still skip Dolby Vision. Meanwhile, $500 sets from TCL and Amazon included out of the box. Don't let the logo fool you. Format support means your Netflix and Disney Plus streams look their best. Bottom line, the right checklist isn't about chasing the highest number on the shelf. It's about matching the specs to how you actually watch. Bright rooms, dark movie nights, fast-paced gaming, or all of the above. Get these specs right, and you'll walk out with a TV that punches way above its price tag, no matter what the brand badge says. Number 5. TCL Q7, the sleeper hit for anyone who cares about smooth motion and gaming without emptying their wallet. TCL has a habit of dropping features you would expect to cost twice as much, and the Q7 is no exception. You get a native 120Hz panel, which means sports and action games actually look fluid instead of turning into a slideshow during fast camera pans. Peak HDR brightness lands just above 1150 nits in calibrated mode, enough to make fireworks and sci-fi explosions jump off the screen, even with sunlight pouring in from the window. For gamers, input lag is the silent killer. Nobody brags about their TV's response time, but missing a shot because your TV hesitated? That's a story you remember. The Q7 clocks in with single-digit input lag in game mode, matching or beating some $1,500 flagships. HDMI 2.1 support means you get 4K at 120Hz, VRR and ALLM, so next-gen consoles actually feel next-gen. For the price, it's a spec sheet that punches above its weight. But here's the catch. TCL's quality control is a bit like rolling dice. Most units are great, but a few slip through with banding, uneven backlights, or the dreaded dirty screen effect. Reflection handling is just average, so if your living room is basically a greenhouse, you'll want to angle the Q7 away from windows. Still, for a mixed-use household, streaming, gaming, weekend sports, the Q7 delivers flagship-level performance where it counts, usually for under $900. You could pay more for a slower, dimmer set from a bigger brand, but why? The Q7 sets the bar for what a mid-range TV should be in 2024. Number 4. Amazon Fire TV Omni QLED, the big screen deal that makes your wallet breathe a sigh of relief. For around $450, you get a 65-inch slab of quantum dot color and Dolby Vision support that used to cost triple that. It's the TV you buy when you want to walk out of the store with a screen that covers half your wall, and you still have enough left for takeout and a soundbar. This isn't some no-name panel either. Amazon's QLED brings about 60 local dimming zones to the party. Sure, that's nowhere near the thousands on a mini LED beast, but it's enough to keep most movie nights looking punchy instead of washed out. HDR brightness clocks in at about 700 nits, which means highlights pop better than any old bargain basement set. Dolby Vision and HDR10 are both here, so your Netflix queue won't hit a compatibility wall. There's a catch though. This is a 60Hz panel. Forget about buttery smooth 120Hz gaming or super fast sports motion. For the average family, that's a trade-off you can live with, especially at this price. Then there's the Fire TV OS. It's packed with apps and Alexa voice control, but the menus can lag and the home screen sometimes feels like a billboard for Amazon Prime. If you're the type who wants a clean, snappy interface, you might get a little twitchy. But if you're just after a massive screen for streaming, the value is tough to beat. Bottom line, if you want a theater-sized upgrade and Dolby Vision for less than half the price of a premium brand, the Omni QLED delivers. Just don't expect it to win any awards for gaming or speed. For families and movie fans on a budget, this is the affordable giant that makes expensive brands sweat. Number 3. LG B4 OLED, the black-level legend for people who want to watch movies the way directors actually intended, but without torching a paycheck. Here's the deal. OLED isn't just another acronym. It's the gold standard for inky, infinite blacks, because every pixel is its own light switch. When a scene cuts to pure darkness, the B4 doesn't just dim the screen, it turns those pixels off completely. Lab tests clock its minimum black level at literally 0, with no blooming, no halos, and nothing to distract you from the story. For cinephiles, that means shadowy thrillers and sci-fi epics look just as moody at home as they do at the theater. But the B4 isn't just about drama in the dark. Gamers get instant pixel response. No ghosting, no lag, just pure razor-sharp motion. Plug in a PS5 or Xbox Series X and you're playing at 4K, 120Hz, with input lag so low it's basically cheating. The B4 even supports Dolby Vision, so every streaming app gets the full HDR treatment. No format drama, no missing features. And the price? You can usually score a 48 or 55-inch B4 for under $1,000, sometimes way less if you catch a sale. Of course, there's a catch. Peak HDR brightness tops out around 780 nits. Enough for sparkle in a dark room, but not the blinding pop you'll get from a mini LED in full daylight. If your living room is a sunroom, you'll want to look elsewhere. And OLED panels do need a little care. Avoid leaving static images up for hours to dodge burn-in, and don't crank the brightness to max for days on end. For most people, it's a non-issue. For movie buffs and gamers who crave that cinematic wow, the B4 is the affordable OLED that finally makes flagship contrast a reality below 4 digits. Number 2. Hisense U8K, the mini LED sledgehammer that makes premium brands sweat. Forget what you know about budget TVs. The U8K is packing nearly 2,200 nits of peak HDR brightness, measured in real-world lab tests, not just on a spec sheet. That's enough power to turn a sunlit living room into a private IMAX, with highlights that punch through glare and reflections like a spotlight at noon. Hisense didn't stop at brightness. Under the hood, you get up to 1,800 local dimming zones. Think of it as 1,000 tiny stagehands, each blacking out their corner of the screen so starfields and neon cityscapes look crisp, not cloudy. Gamers get the full package. 4K at 144 Hz, HDR E2.1, low input lag. Features that used to be locked behind a $2,000 paywall. Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus support are baked in, so every blockbuster and sports stream pops with color and detail. The best part? Lab shootouts from Artings and Vincent Teo showed the U8K outshining Samsung's QN90C in both HDR brightness and local dimming control. That's a $900 TV beating a $1,900 flagship at its own game. Are there trade-offs? Sure. Motion handling isn't as silky as Samsung, and the built-in speakers won't rattle your windows. But if you care about HDR that actually lights up a room, the U8K is the affordable powerhouse that's forcing the old guard to rethink what premium really means. Number 1. TCL QM8, the budget flagship that leaves expensive brands staring into the sun. This is the set that made reviewers double-check their meters. Lab tests peg its sustained HDR brightness at around 1,400 nits, with peak bursts soaring past 2,100. That's not just a spec sheet flex. It's the kind of relentless output that keeps every highlight blazing, even during a full-length sports marathon on a July afternoon. Underneath, the QM8 is running a dense grid of over 2,300 local dimming zones. Think of it as a stadium full of tiny spotlights, each one shutting off or firing up to keep black levels deep and highlights razor sharp. The result? Night games look inky and dramatic, while fireworks and stadium lights explode with detail. No more washed-out corners or muddy shadows. Gamers get 4K at up to 144 Hz, plus all the HDMI 2.1 bells and whistles, so motion stays crisp and input lag drops to competition levels. Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus are both on board, which means your streaming lineup always gets the best possible picture. There's a catch. The QM8's viewing angles are narrower than some rivals, so you'll want to grab the center seat for the full effect. But if you care about jaw-dropping HDR and dense local dimming without dropping $2,000, this is the TV that makes premium brands sweat. For sports fans, movie buffs, and anyone who wants the brightest living room on the block, the QM8 is the value king of 2024. Room lighting isn't just a footnote, it's your starting line. If you're fighting glare and sunbeams, skip the OLED romance and grab a mini LED bruiser like the TCL QM8 or Hisense U8K. For blackout movie caves, the LG B4 OLED is the ticket to shadowy bliss. Tight budget? The Amazon Fire TV Omni QLED covers your wall without emptying your wallet, even if it won't win a motion clarity contest. Need one TV to rule gaming and sports? The TCL Q7 is your workhorse. But here's the plot twist nobody puts on the box. Every affordable TV comes with a roll of the dice. The infamous panel lottery means about 5 to 8% of budget sets get returned for banding, dead pixels, or uneven backlights. That's not a rounding error, it's a real-world risk. Premium brands have tighter quality control, but at these prices, you're playing the odds. So, treat your return window like a test drive. Unbox fast, run a gray screen, scan for weird lines, stuck pixels, or blotchy corners. If you spot a flaw, don't wait. Swap it out before the deadline. Warranties are nice, but after 30 days, repairs on a $700 TV often cost more than a replacement. Now it's your turn. Would you rather save $1,000 and risk a panel swap, or pay for consistency and a gold-plated badge? Drop your pick below, #Team Brightness or #Team Black Level. In 2024, lab tests confirmed that the TCL QM8 delivers over 1,400 sustained NETs and outperforms some $2,000 flagship TVs in HDR impact, a milestone unthinkable just 5 years ago. This documentary has shown how mini LED and quantum dot technology let brands like Hisense and TCL close the performance gap, offering true 4K at 144 Hz gaming, Dolby Vision, and local dimming for a fraction of past prices. Yet, panel quality control and software experience still vary, with 5 to 8% defect return rates documented and some smart platforms lagging behind. While premium brands once held a clear lead, the evidence now shows that buyers can achieve near-flagship picture quality for hundreds less. The long-term durability of these affordable panels remains a question, as most manufacturers have not released repair or longevity data. Still, the current facts are clear. Measurable performance, not brand price, is now the key standard. For home theaters and gamers alike, the era of overpaying for top-tier TV specs is over.